Take that as a yes. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the regularly scheduled Planning and Zoning Board meeting of the City of West Miami, September 11, 2024. It is now 6:33. We'll go ahead and get the meeting started. We'll go ahead and start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Can we go ahead and have a roll call?
Okay, Gustavo Ceballos,
Present.
Eugenio Gonzalez,
Present.
Victoria de la Torre Gans, Diana Rio,
Here.
Alexander Diaz,
Present.
and City Clerk and City Attorney are also in attendance. You have a full quorum,
Thank you.
and City Manager as well.
Thank you. If we can, I'd like to take a moment to have a moment of silence for September 11 memory. Thank you. We'll go ahead and move forward. If we can take item of new business A5 out of order so that we can go ahead and swear in our brand-new Planning and Zoning Board member.
Okay, item 5A, swearing in of new Planning and Zoning Board member Victoria de la Torre Gans by City Clerk.
Victoria, please come to the front so we can administer your oath. Victoria, raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Victoria de la Torre Gans. I, Victoria de la Torre Gans. Solemnly swear. Solemnly swear. That I will support the Constitution. That I will support the Constitution. And will obey the laws of the United States of America. And will obey the laws of the United States of America. And of the state of Florida. And of the state of Florida. That I will in all respects. That I will in all respects observe the provisions of the charter. Observe the provisions of the charter. And the ordinances of the city of West Miami. And the ordinances of the city of West Miami. And will faithfully discharge. And will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of planning and zoning board member. The duties of the office of the planning and zoning board member of the city of West Miami. Of the city of West Miami. Congratulations. I'm gonna give you the oath that you can sign it later. She's formally a member. You may proceed.
Thank you. We'll go ahead and go back to the top of the agenda, approval of minutes. Do I have any comments or edits?
I make a motion to approve.
I second the motion.
Perfect. All those in favor say aye.
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 Motion passes. We'll go ahead and start with old business.
Okay,
Four.
old business. Item 4A, sign permit application for new business, Valash Studio detached sign. Property address 5798 Southwest 8th Street, West Miami, Florida, 33144. Applicant is requesting a sign permit for a phase change of the existing detached sign measuring 19 feet in height where a maximum of 35 feet is allowed by ordinance. The plan submitted show replacement of a sign measuring 16 square feet where 50 square feet is allowed by zoning ordinance. This is zoning section 22 of zoning ordinance 282, referencing ordinance 2013-08, section 22-10B. This is a deferred item from the last meeting that took place back June 26.
Okay.
Based-
Actually, before we move forward, can I go have the city clerk swear in anybody who's going to be testifying today?
Excuse me?
If we can swear in anybody in the room that's going to be testifying today?
Yes, I think the city attorney is
Okay. That's fine.
the one who administers.
Raise your right hand, please, and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Mercy Sonia,
Do solemnly swear that the testimony I will give tonight is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, either so help me God or so I affirm. Thank you.
Thank you. And the last meeting, was this item considered or was just deferred?
So it was deferred, and according to the memo that I wrote, the in the last minutes, there was an electrical, if you look at the picture, there was an electrical, I don't know if you can see it now on the TV screen. Speaking with our electrical inspector, our chief electrical inspector, he suggested that per the electrical code, it should be underground. The property owner is looking to pull an electrical permit to run that power underground. And the only thing that would be changing is a phase change. There is record of that sign that was installed back in 1982. That's also in your binders for you to look at. And the applicant is also here.
Would the applicant like to make a presentation?
Hello, my name is Juliana Ramirez, owner of business, Balash Beauty, LLC.
Mr. City Attorney, does she need to be sworn in?
Yeah, I didn't recall, were you sworn in?
Huh?
No? Okay, raise your right hand. I did not notice who stood.
I think there's only two gentlemen in the second row.
Yes, it needs to be sworn in.
Okay, raise your right hand, please, and repeat after me. I state your name.
I say your name.
Tu nombre.
Tu nombre.
I, Juliana Ramirez,
Do solemnly swear
do swear
that the testimony I am about to give
that the testimony
I'm about to give
I'm about to you
is the truth,
is the truth,
the whole truth,
the whole truth.
and nothing but the truth.
Repeat, please.
in nothing but the truth.
In nothing but the truth.
So help me God, or so I affirm at your choice. So help me God.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Thank you.
Thank you. Sorry, I don't speak English.
That's okay with me if somebody can translate.
Board, so I can help with this. At the last meeting, we were talking about the piggyback sign on top. It was pre-approved in 1982. It was a previous planning board and a commission approved the piggybacking of the sign, one on top of the other. Our conditions that we're asking for is for the other, if the board so desires to approve it, it's a change, it's a name face change. However, the condition we're asking is that electrical connection not be done that way, that they have to pull a permit and run it underground, because that's a dangerous situation.
Does the board members have any comments or questions for the applicant or city staff? I believe the issue is that there's a wire that's not being run underground.
That is correct. The sign was there. All they're changing is the face of the sign. That sign was already there, but now that it's come back in front of us, we ran it through our building department. Our building department said that electrical connection has to be run underground. So if you all so choose to approve it, I would like the condition put on there that it can be approved, but they must pull the electrical permit within 30 days and get this rectified.
Any other comments?
I have a question. The copy of the original plan approving the signage says that the sign was 4 by 6, and we're assuming that this was the sign that currently reads Little Pirates. And the one that is on top that says now Sky Home Center, which is the one that she wants to replace, is 4 by 4. So I think that this sign, the party supply signage, was the original one. And then at some point, they came in and they added those curved support system for that sign. But I don't think this proves that that sign that's piggybacked on top was permitted in any way. I think what we're looking at is the larger signage, not the one that's on top.
So according to Sky Home Center, that was the last business that was there, which is a photo that you see. That went in front of the Planning and Zoning Board, January 24, 2023. And based on those minutes, the board, according to the record, the board did not like the box sign on the existing quote, but agreed that the existing ordinance allowed the sign as it exists. That's the only record I was able to find for that, including the original sign with the Little Pirates.
Any other comments? I mean, if the board is tasked with reviewing the sign application as to the size, shape, color, and design as it pertains to compatibility and suitability of the surrounding area, I think if that sign was going to be permitted, it should be a continuation of the existing monument sign and not something that's just plopped on top.
I agree with that.
Do we know if the applicant has any desire? Would they be willing to modify the existing monument so that it doesn't look like an addition?
No entiendo.
Lo que está diciendo el miembro es si usted está en acuerdo de cambiar la caja que está encima para que coincide con lo que
Mismo
está
tamaño.
existente de abajo, para que quede solo un sign. O sea, un monument sign incluyendo el Little Pirates y el
La
negocio
continuación.
suyo. Exacto.
Él quiere decir para que no se vea como una adición, que sea algo más uniforme.
Si de esa forma se puede aprobar, sí lo puedo hacer.
So you're saying something that matches the length, and so that it looks like it's one sign, not just covering up the existing box that we have there. So make it larger, that's what you're asking, right?
Sí, ella se refiere a que el sign que tienen en este momento da la apariencia de una adición. Ellos proponen que se haga más grande y que sea del tamaño del sign de abajo, para, como dije anteriormente, para que haya una uniformidad.
Uniformidad, ok. No hay problema.
Would a larger signage meet the size, the minimum size requirement, or the maximum size requirement allowed on there?
On the memo, it says that the current height allowed is 35, and this is only 19, and the current sign measure is 16 square feet, where 50 square feet is allowed. So it seems like they have the space. Any other comments, or can I get a motion?
I'd like to make a motion to approve the sign with the conditions of creating or enlarging the proposed sign so that it meets the side the side so that it's uniform with the existing Little Pirate sign width, so that it doesn't look like it's like something that was plopped on top. And also with the condition of removal within 30 days of the electrical conduit that's currently attached to it.
Do I have a second?
I have a second.
Can I get a roll call?
Okay, Board Member Eugenio, how do you vote?
Yes.
Board Member Alex?
Yes.
Board Member Victoria?
Yes.
Board Member Diana?
Yes.
And Board Member Gustavo?
Yes.
Okay, item passes with the conditions, 5-0.
Muchísimas gracias. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Okay, we'll go ahead and move on to the next item.
Okay, next item, item 4B, old business, sign permit application for new business NWG Mini Mart, property address 1665 Southwest 67th Avenue, West Miami, Florida 33155. Applicant is requesting a sign permit for the business to allow the installation of a non-illuminated wall sign on the west elevation of the building. The plans for the building as submitted show placement of a 32-square-foot flat sign in addition to the business information on the west elevation of storefronts, windows, and doors. The sign usage for the flat sign is 32 square feet of the allowed 75.60 square feet for signs, zoning section 22.0 of zoning ordinance 282, referencing ordinance 2013-08, section 22-8.
Is the applicant present?
Yes, the applicant is here. And I believe he needs to be sworn in as well.
Hi, good afternoon.
Please raise your right hand. I state your name.
I, Eduardo Hernandez,
Do solemnly swear
solemnly swear
that the testimony I'm about to give
that the testimony I'm about to give
is the truth, the whole truth,
is the truth, all truth,
and nothing but the truth.
and nothing but the truth.
So help me God, or so I affirm, at
So
your
help me
choice.
Name and address for the record, please.
All right, this, of the business, sorry? The
Your
business?
name and address for the record.
My name, Eduardo Hernandez.
And your address for the record.
My actual address, I'm sorry, my actual address, 15499 Miami Lake Way North. Okay.
Okay, so this applicant, it's just the sign, which is what they want installed. There is an acrylic sample in the chairman's binder, if you want to pass that around. And attached our before and after photos.
So this would be attached directly to the wall. There's no separation between the wall and this,
No, there's like a frame, aluminum frame.
like the metal box.
Yes, what I just did, I just replaced the face of the frame.
The box sign that you see in the photo, that's currently existing, and what he's simply doing is a face change.
Is that box higher than the building, or is it an illusion?
Yeah, a couple of inches.
But I think if we were to approve the signage, it would have to come down to meet the top of the parapet. And all the proposed signage on the windows and door be reduced to just the hours of operation. what else you have in there? The hours of operation and maybe the logo, that's it, but not obscuring the windows, like where it says open and all that, covering up of the glazing. That would be my suggestion. It doesn't quite conform to where we want the city to go to.
And just remove the like, the laminate that has, the windows. I removed that
Right.
like 3 days ago. I don't like it,
Oh, okay.
so because the windows are clear right now.
Perfect.
But I don't have the picture actually.
All right.
Okay, any other questions or comments? I'll entertain a motion.
I make a motion to approve the signage with a condition for it to be lowered to meet or be below the top of the parapet, and for the film on the window, for no film to be located on the window and on the door, except for on the door, he's allowed to have the hours of operation.
Do we have a second?
Second?
Can I get a roll call?
Okay, Board Member Eugenio, how do you vote?
Yes.
Board Member Victoria Gans?
Yes.
Board Member Alex Diaz?
Yes.
Board Member Diana Rio?
Yes.
And Board Member Gustavo Ceballos?
Yes.
Item passes with the conditions 5-0.
Thank you.
That's it. Thank you.
Next item was 5A, sworn in of Board Member Victoria de la Torre Gans. That was done by City Clerk, out of order. And next item is item 5B, special use permit for 6400 Property LLC. Applicant requests a special use permit for the property at 6400 Southwest 8th Street, West Miami, Florida, 33144. The property is zoned for C, commercial, and the applicant is requesting to allow for an adult daycare center that will be complementary to the existing Univida Medical Center operating on the property. Special use permit index number 2024-002, zoning ordinance 282, section 28.1.
Good evening.
Mr. Chairman and members of the zoning board. My name is Juan Carrera, and I'm at 221 Southwest 42nd Avenue, 3rd floor, Miami, Florida. I'm an attorney representing the Univida Medical Center, and we are requesting for the permit to use the existing facility as an adult daycare facility. We were fortunate enough to have had the use granted for the medical facility that we fabricated in 2021, which is pictured there. So we want to be able to have and give our patients a daycare facility where they can be during the day, and this is only applicable to the existing patients. So we don't bring in people from the outside who are not already members or will become members. They fluctuate. So it's just to treat our particular members.
And is that being proffered in some sort of a covenant?
I'm sorry?
Is that limitation being proffered as part of a covenant?
No, it's not. It's not, but that's the business plan. We're not in a position to be taking in outside patients who do not fit into the system, because the way that these patients are paid is through their insurance and have to be plugged into our system. So that's the idea.
So the only patients that are going to be at this daycare are patients of your medical facility?
Exactly. Yes.
Okay.
But there's no covenant to that. So they could change their mind 6 months from now.
And, okay.
But on the other hand,
I get it.
it doesn't, the structure for insurance, for the medical practice field, I'm not totally familiar with how everything works with Medicare and Medicaid, but the way it's plugged in, that you become a provider, like Leon Medical Centers. You'd have to subscribe to that and be a member of Leon Medical Centers to use a particular facility. That's the same way we work. The administrative portion of it I'm not familiar with, but I know that you can't just entertain people from the outside and charge them a fee, like it was a daytime hotel or something, If you don't mind, because we have this is our engineer, and he's also an employee of Univida. So if he has a little more insight.
Just a quick question. You said there was an existing structure, so there's not an addition being planned?
No, actually, through the chair, if you'd allow us, we brought a presentation that we'd like to give to
Fantastic.
inform the board members a little bit as to the context of the ask for the special use permit and what the facility currently does today. If the zoning staff, Mercy, if you could help click through, we'd appreciate it.
We're getting IT to.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. And for the record, Jose Cueto, 1028 West 67th Street, Hialeah, Florida, 33012. Okay, for those of you who may not be familiar, even though the facility is just down the street, Univida Medical Centers is a leading healthcare provider dedicated to providing comprehensive services, healthcare services to our patients, mostly elderly Medicare type patients, within the mostly West Miami residents, but also residents from the area generally. The mission is to obviously improve the patient's well-being. It's a managed care product that strives to provide preventative care and keep the patients out of the hospital, out of specialist offices, and keeping them as healthy as possible for themselves and for their families. Next slide. The facility was inaugurated in 2022, the current Univida Medical Center at 6400 Southwest 8th Street. It's currently servicing about 50 patients a day. It offers an array of services: primary care, ultrasound, x-ray, optometry, dental services, actually hyperbaric therapy for our patients. So it's a one-stop shop where patients obtain all of their healthcare needs and in one place to limit travel and provide ease of service. The majority of our patients come on transportation service. They come on our private transportation to the site. Very few, given their age, arrive in their personal vehicles. What are we trying to achieve with this special use permit application for adult daycare facility? Because most of our patients are 65 and over, we'd like to provide them with the necessary elderly care at the facility, which we currently lack. Enhance the ability to serve them more effectively, provide a number of services including recreation, meals, entertainment for those elderly patients throughout the day, and of course this addition, which to the chair's member Ceballos' question, is an existing space that has already been built and permitted, would support additional jobs at the location, mostly residents here in the city of West Miami or near to. For context, the adult daycare is part of the existing structure. The addition to the structure was built under West Miami building permit and was obtained a certificate of occupancy in July of this year. It is the area in green on that schematic. It's a 3,000 square foot addition or area. You can see a photo of it to the right. Like I mentioned, completed in July of 2024 under the building permit referenced. Currently, it's serving as an addition or an area where the patients, sit and wait. They're also provided with, coffee and refreshments. But ideally, it could become, through the special use permit, a full-fledged adult daycare facility providing all the necessary services, and as Mr. Carrera mentioned, reimbursed through the appropriate health agencies, Medicare and Medicaid. Just a few photos for you all to see the space. Open space for the most part for patients to congregate, a pantry for preparation and serving of meals. And on the next slide, you'll see the ADA bathrooms and some of the other facilities that are in place. And again, approved and authorized by the City of West Miami. And that's it. Just wanted to share with you a little bit of that context, why we're asking to provide this service to your residents, and why we think it'll be a value added, and as Mr. Carrera mentioned, will not affect the current operation of the facility. We don't expect it to generate any additional vehicle trips. It really is a complement to what's already ongoing in terms of a medical operation at the site. Thank you very much.
I have a question. How many visits are you getting now that require is it your own transportation service, or is it multiple transportation services?
No, it's our transportation service, Univida's transportation service. We're seeing at the facility overall about 50 patients a day.
How many transportation services, how many times does a bus come and stop and offload and unload patients?
I would say on average, the peak kind of service time is during the mornings when the patients arrive, and midday when they leave, on the order of maybe 4 they're 12-passenger vans that mostly Ford Transits or Mercedes-Benz Sprinters. So in the course of the day, 3 maybe trips, 3 on that order.
And they're all being done on the parking lot premises?
Yes,
Okay.
correct. There's a pickup drop-off area where patients and a handicap ADA access, where the patients get off, enter the facility, and the vans park on site and enter and egress from the site in that manner.
Okay,
Thank you, member.
thank you.
I guess my confusion stems from this image, because the other aerials don't depict this being built, but this has already been built.
Correct, member
So
Salas.
these aerials are just not up to date.
That's exactly right.
Got it.
Yeah, and it was just built July, a few months back. It got,
Makes sense. I just didn't understand. I'm like, wait a minute, the aerial's not there. Okay,
Yes.
That makes sense.
Mr. Ceballos, they pulled a building permit for offices and a lounge area, and what they're doing now is a special uses, they're coming in to change the use for the adult daycare center.
Understood.
And, you know, and it's entirely up to you. If you want to put a covenant, it's entirely up to you as well to make that suggestion. The one thing we have is maximum occupancy would be no more than 80.
And just to confirm, Mr. City Attorney, we are not approving this item. This is simply a recommendation from this board to the commission, correct?
Yes.
All right.
Okay.
Does any board members have any questions or comments?
The recommendation would be just to ensure that the transportation services remain in that area that you have designated for it. And in the case that you get more volume than expected, that still remains the same, so that it doesn't obstruct the traffic on 8th Street.
absolutely, member Gantz. Thank you.
May I ask one question? Just the current facility has a certain state license.
Yes, the current facility is licensed through ACA,
Has a what?
through the Association for the Healthcare
Right.
Administration.
And the adult daycare center is a different license.
It is through ACA as well, is our understanding, but a standalone and separate license, correct?
license.
Yes.
Now, my turn. Have you gone through the accreditation for the daycare yet?
No, it's contingent upon this special use permit, so at the point in time that from a zoning perspective it's viable and the city of West Miami has hopefully approved, we will proceed with the credentialing.
Because I want to make sure that their occupancy and ours match.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mr. Manager.
Does this addition, I'm sorry,
No,
does
go.
this addition increase the parking requirement? And are you meeting that parking requirement with this addition of a daycare?
Yes, Member Rio. The addition was built and permitted with the current,
It was permitted for this purpose?
yes, for medical use as a medical office for this purpose, correct?
No, but what I'm saying is maybe the medical office has a different parking requirement as a daycare.
Right, since the use is internal to the medical facility, as Mr. Carrera mentioned, it's the same patients. And remember, these are adult daycare patients, so they will not be arriving to park. They will be arriving to receive the service and leave. So even more so than the 60-70% of our patients that already arrive on transport, the patients that will receive the adult daycare services are not in a position to drive, are not in a position to park.
Okay, so I guess my question is, are you meeting the parking requirement with this
Yes.
new use on this space?
Yes, yes, and I understand the
You are.
recommendation from zoning confirms that,
Okay.
yes.
Okay.
So if I may, it's 1 parking space for every 300 square feet. They do meet that requirement. The previous or the medical center that's adjacent to within that building, they have in their special use that was approved, I have it here somewhere, back in 2021, it was 1 space for every 200 square feet because they have a dental office and a medical office. So they split that. Having the adult daycare under the assembly requirement per our parking code, it's 1 parking for every 300 square feet, and they're just shy of meeting that. According to my memo, they are at 58 parking spaces, 2 of which are handicap, and they're allowed 57.5.
Okay, so they are right on top.
Yeah, so
They
they're fine
cannot
with
add
parking.
one more.
Mhm.
Okay.
Exactly, we have 58 parking spaces and we're required 50% for the park.
They comply with parking.
Any other questions or comments?
Oh, yeah, I didn't look in the, is there a separate entrance for this? There
Yes.
is, it's the ramp.
Yes, Member Rio, there's a separate ADA entrance into the adult daycare facility.
Okay, and this ramp is facing?
Facing
this-
south.
this- okay. And if
It's
I'm gonna
facing
drop off
south on the Ninth
somebody,
Street side.
I'm going to come in on 8th Street.
Off of 64th Avenue, Member Rio, into the facility.
Okay. Okay. So I guess my question, there's no drop-offs being done from 8th Street?
No.
Or directly parking on 64th Avenue? You have to come into the facility to drop off the patient?
Exactly, Member Rio, yes. As it exists currently, there's no change in drop-off procedure.
And no expected.
No, and no change, no.
One more question, any plans to use it for special events or special days that maybe aren't part of operating hours?
No, there's no plans. If there were ever to be an event, like, for example, we had our grand opening event, we typically consult with the city staff for, an events permit. But no, there's really no plans for events.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions? If there's no other questions or comments, I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion to approve the application with the condition that if the business plan changes from primarily a healthcare facility into a daycare, that it comes back to the board for our review.
I'm sorry, I didn't understand them.
So instead of proffering that, you're not gonna bring in any additional patients, I would like to put a condition that if the business plan changes from primarily a healthcare facility, which is what you are, and then you have
Right.
the
If we
ancillary,
eliminate the healthcare
The
facility?
clinic.
The clinic?
right,
Oh.
or make it 50% or more than, into a daycare, then that it comes back to us for review.
Are you also adopting staff recommendations, the 3 recommendations they've made?
Oh, yes, those.
Okay.
This is an additional recommendation to the already noted conditions proposed by staff.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Can we have a roll call?
Okay, Board Member Victoria, how do you vote?
Yes.
Board Member Eugenio, how do you vote?
Yes.
Board Member Alex, how do you vote?
Yes.
Board Member Diana, how do you vote?
Yes.
And Board Member Gustavo, how do you vote?
Yes.
Item passes for recommendation to City Commission 5-0.
Thank you, Board.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night.
Any other items on the agenda?
Go to the order.
I've got nothing. Anyone have anything for the good of the order? No?
When are we going to be looking at the review of the signage section of the code?
At the last meeting, we just hired an outside consultant to help us with the comp plan and the zoning. I actually was texting with them to see when they're going to start coming once a week
Okay,
to start writing all this, so it's pretty soon.
okay.
But we're
Glad to hear that.
actually, technically, right now, we're out of compliance with we're not approved by the state with our comprehensive plan. So that's the first step we're
That's
going to have to
expressive,
bring up.
right,
Yeah,
okay.
that the comp plan expired 2 years ago.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you.
Understood? Anything else? Okay, meeting adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.
If everyone can settle down, we'll now begin our